Thank you, Madam Chair, and good to be with you today, and really appreciate you doing this hearing. It's I think, tremendously important to focus on the issues that the GSA does focus on, and I'm going to talk a little bit about New Mexico here. At the House hearings and our hearing today, many listed the outrages in this wasteful, over-the-top conference, and I just not going to spend a lot of time on that, but a mind reader, sushi, luxury suites. When you're wasting taxpayer money, what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas. So let's take a little bit more of a look here at this conference in terms of the big picture. And and my first question is going to focus on all of these things you've done in the past. But first, to hit on New Mexico. From a New Mexico perspective, this conference scandal is also especially worrisome for two reasons. First, I'm disappointed that this conference involved the western regions of GSA, of which New Mexico is a part, which is within the Southwest region, Region 7. And second, more importantly, the scandal is distracting from the urgent GSA pending project in New Mexico, the Columbus Land Port of Entry. Columbus, New Mexico is a border town across from Palomas, Mexico. GSA included a $60 million new land port of entry facility in its 2012 budget. In December, this committee approved a resolution authorizing construction. This facility is extremely important to security, U.S.-Mexico trade, and economic development in southwest New Mexico. I was in Columbus last week and heard about the importance of this project. We need to root out the waste and abuse at GSA and get back to the work that taxpayers want us to do, like economic development and border security. So, Mr. Miller, you've talked a lot about the report your office did regarding this wasteful conference in 2010. I'd like to hear some more about your other works on wasteful spending so that we can put this current controversy into context and into perspective. Here are a number of figures from your most recent semi-annual report, and I hope you can tell us really what they mean. First of all, $460 million in question funds are recommended for better use. $376 million in criminal, civil, and administrative recoveries. 260 new investigations, 71 cases accepted for prosecution, 85 indictments, and 64 successful prosecutions. 88 contractors suspended and 61 contractors disbarred. Now, there are similar figures in all the semi-annual reports going back to President Bush. Could you put this in perspective? I mean, we have this conference that's obviously a real waste of taxpayers' funds, but some of the other things you're doing here, I think, are very important, and the dollar amounts are huge. Could you put that in perspective?
Thank you, Senator, for noticing. Our office does a lot of great work. We have great auditors, great special agents, forensic auditors, and lawyers. They do a tremendous amount of work. I'll just start backwards. I made it a priority when I became Inspector General in 2005 to make referrals for suspension and debarment. We have referred over 1,000 individuals and companies for suspension and debarment so far. We have indicted a number of individuals and companies. This year alone, we indicted a group of individuals who were producing counterfeit integrated circuits, claiming that they were Cisco integrated circuits, and then upgraded integrated circuits. They broke the code that Cisco had to upgrade them, and they would upgrade sometimes real Cisco integrated circuits with counterfeit parts and sell them at a profit to the government and to others. We convicted those individuals. They were convicted in the Eastern District of Virginia by the U.S. Attorney's Office there. We also investigated, which led to the conviction of 11 individuals involved, property managers managing properties in the D.C. area, including a manager of, I guess, White House facilities, and they were taking bribes. For example, they would have an arrangement with a contractor to replace an exhaust fan, and they would use their purchase card to charge $2,000 or $1,000 for replacement of a fan. In reality, the fan cost $80. So the contractor then would kick back a part of that money to the contracting, the property manager. So 11 property managers and contractors were convicted earlier in this year, I guess 2011.
Mr. Miller, in terms of perspective, is the waste, fraud, and abuse at GSA improving, or is it getting worse overall? I mean, you've had a real perspective here looking at this big picture issue.
Well, we continue to look at the larger systems too, because we do audits of programs of GSA. And GSA, we do audit programs regularly at GSA. Having conferences is not a program of GSA, so it's not one of the regular things we audit. We will start now. But we audit their systems, and we look at their work yearly. And we find more and more fraud, waste, and abuse. I don't know that we've sat back and compared how much fraud there is year by year. Fraud by its very nature is hidden. And I'm happy that thanks to the hard work of our special agents, auditors, forensic auditors, and lawyers, we're uncovering more and more fraud.
Well, the last two GSA administrators have had to resign. Is there something about GSA? Could you tell us why we're seeing that many scandals at GSA? What can you enlighten us on there?
GSA handles a lot of money. Millions, maybe billions of dollars flow through GSA, and it handles a lot of money, handles a lot of property. There are a lot of contracts that it controls. There's a lot of temptation. And with over 12,000 employees, you're going to find criminal conduct, stupid conduct, and just plain negligence. So it's a large operation with a lot of employees, and so you do have criminal activity.
Madam Chair, I see I'm out of time. I just have one more question, if I could have your indulgence here. I'd like to ask the acting administrator, is this scandal going to distract GSA from doing its job, such as constructing essential federal facilities like the Columbus, New Mexico border crossing land port of entry?
Well, we hope it won't, because that would add a very bad outcome to an already unacceptable situation. We need to make sure the GSA, the nearly 13,000 GSA employees stay focused on their core mission and save taxpayers' money. If we're diverted from that, then we're only compounding the mistakes that were made at this conference.
Thank you. And Madam Chair, I know that you're a real watchdog over the Treasury, and I appreciate you holding this hearing and making sure that we don't see these kinds of wasteful expenditures of taxpayer money.
Thank you, Senator.